Hello. This is a demo of Eddy, a tool that helps you write code. It's just a demo to show you the workflow. The real thing isn't done yet. So Eddy translates between your vague ideas and plain Java. It fills in details, it corrects mistakes. I will write high-level code here on the left, and you can see what Eddy understood on the right. To talk to Eddy, I don't really use any particular language. It's more like pseudocode. And Eddy interprets what I wrote best it can, and it outputs proper Java code. It's just regular Java, perfectly compatible with all Java libraries out there. And Eddy knows about libraries and can use types and functions from there as needed.
It's worth mentioning I can write Java on the left, and I also can edit the right, but I'm not going to do that.
We'll do something more interesting. Let's get connected to database. On the right, Eddy is translating my code into Java. So a few things happened here. Some syntax was added, semicolon, parentheses. It figured out that Kafka.local really needs to be a string for this to make sense, so it made it a string. Also, I used this connect function from this database module we have, but I used it wrong. Can't be bothered to remember the signatures. So I put the port first and hostname second. This is wrong. But it was clear from context what I meant, so Eddy corrected my mistake. So this is the main difference between Eddy and other systems. Compiler or runtime is pretty stupid. If you make a mistake, it'll spit out an error. Eddy will just try its best to understand what you meant, and it'll just try to do the right thing. So let's get some data out of the database. Here again, Eddy added some syntax, but it also put a little red notification here. So if I click on it, I can see what's up. Eddy couldn't quite figure this out by itself. It tells me, okay, I'm using this column thing, but it's a method of table and I don't have a table. It knows how to make a table though, so yeah, please make a table for me, that's great. And I just have to give it the table name, which is page data. There you go. Now it fixed the problem with my help. So if Eddy can't figure things out, it will not just give up, it'll ask me for help. All right, now we have some data, and I really want to show a graph, so let's just make a histogram. Nice, okay, cool. Eddy figured that out all by itself. So to use a histogram, we first have to make a figure. Eddy made one. It also figured out that the only thing it really makes sense to make a histogram of is this times array. It's really the only array around, so I didn't really tell it what to make the histogram of. It's just noticed by itself. That's the only real option, so duh. So great, so let's run this. Yeah, correct. So when we run this, nothing would happen. And the reason is that this figure object actually needs to be shown explicitly. So Eddy knows that when you write a program, typically you want it to do something. And it also noticed that this program doesn't actually do anything. So it tells us, well, we could make it do something by showing this figure object. So yeah, well, that sounds like a great idea. Please do. Well, there we go. Histogram. Perfect. So notice how Eddy inserted a bunch of boilerplate here that, I probably could have written that myself, but why would I? That's what computers are for. I would like a title and a plot, so I'm just going to give it a title. Here we go. And again, Eddy just figured out that, okay, the only thing that has a title that we can change is this figure object. It is possible that we actually may have wanted to create a new variable named title. And so if that were the case, then Eddy would have misunderstood me. And so I could just tell it to go and make a new variable instead of what it inferred was the right thing to do. But it did the right thing here, so I'm happy. Great. So in the end, I wrote this high-level code here on the left, and this is what carries all the meaning in the program. And on the right here, the details I don't really have to worry about too much. When I go back to change something, I can work in my pseudocode. I don't have to wade through all that detail here, which for larger programs can be really, really gnarly. I don't have to remember details of the syntax. There isn't really much syntax. Either Eddy understands me or it doesn't. If it doesn't, it'll ask me. I don't have to remember signatures of library functions, API functions. Eddy will know that for me and it correct me. Eddy tells me about mistakes that I'm making. I don't have to notice that as bugs later on. So Eddy just makes programming much less frustrating, more productive, more accessible. If you want to know more, you can go to our website, eddy.systems. You can sign up for emails, read our blog, you can email us, you can call us, and we'll keep you up to date on what's happening. Till next time.